Welcome to Pranic Talk TV. This is Elitom El-Amin.
And Shana Dean.
Enjoy the show.
All right. Greetings, family. This is the Alkalise to Realize talk show. This is actually part 2. We got Elitom El-Amin back once again, and we got the lovely Shana Dean. And you already had the introduction of Elitom in part 1. And, I spoke to Lee, a few of the people that, how we handle this show is that, this show is for the people that are, have a really good understanding of soul cultivation. We have a dedication, like I dedicate, it's become such a big part of my life. And Elitom, I really have I just want to show you a lot of gratitude because I even have a Breatharian brother that I know here. He's not out there like that here in Bahamas. And he always used to tell me, okay, the breath work, the meditation, that's the foundation. That's the foundation. Right. Now, I was so into the diet, into the urine, into the so many other things. But you know what it was? When I decided to, I think I paid you to be in your the pranic vitality private group, right? And it was one moment where we were doing the Tai Chi, and I was just following it, and I felt all this tingling all over my body. I talking about it was everywhere, and I felt it before in our holotrophic breath work. It's kind of like where you do in and out the mouth to reveal like the trauma and stuff. But when you said that you are coming in contact with the forces of the universe, I swear to you, it just clicked. And I realized how watered down meditation was in its definition. And I really think, man, you really brought that to light that day for me. So I show real gratitude to you for that. And from that day, it was every day.
Right.
Day. And oh man, it's just so much. I've been anticipating this talk with you because you feel the energy. I go out on the beach, I do feel energy as it comes in. But I don't know, man. It's like, I get a family, the food thing comes, the appetites, the time management. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be talking too much, Elitom.
Oh, you're doing good.
I just really trying to express the hurdles that I'm starting to have where collecting all this energy, and then it's like, I don't really know what to do with it. So I then burn myself out because I'm not really around anyone that really does these things like that, not consistently, so to say. And I find myself eating myself, like eating again, to the point where I I collect it, then I burn it out. I collect it, I burn it out. And it kind of driving me like, how do I get where I can sustain it, And I don't know, I'm sure you felt this on your path, you being like...
Oh, absolutely.
So is there anything, I got a bunch of questions here, but man, is there anything you could kind of...
And I'm really happy that you're bringing all of this up because I know you're not the only one who's going through this. This is so common. So thank you for bringing up this question and sharing your experience. So you can talk about it.
Oh, absolutely. But this is much needed. There was just a group that just left the last retreat we had. And of course, the next phase is, it wasn't so much the retreat, the synergy, all of us is together, that could feed off of each other. That's one thing. The real test is when you go back home. That's what you're talking about. Family, friends, job situation, every day just being with yourself. And we keep saying it's about what perfect health is time management. What do you do with your time? What do you do with the energy? And of course, this isn't a bad thing. We being creatures of energy, you always seek energy of least resistance. So if it's easy to what? The food is all around us, which is a form of energy. The body is least resistance because it's right there. Sometime in our mind, that's easier to get than the more subtle forces. You can see it. You grew up with it. You can comprehend it.
It's habitual.
It's habitual. But when you're coming into this phase of connecting with the universe with the subtle forces, that takes time, because what we was talking about last night about, we understand the physical working out when you're building a physical muscle. But then we got this thing called the energetic workout, where you're building an energetic body, like an energetic bodybuilder.
Right.
And like you said, the key words, as soon as you felt that energy, you went into energy bodybuilding. So in other words, you got your swole on now, energy swole.
But the thing that's important to remember is that even though you're building like a bodybuilder, you have days where you're building up the muscle, you also have these rest days, right? So it's okay actually in the beginning or during the transition to be, more breatharian, more energetic, more pranic, and then take days where you're eating and you're kind of going back and forth. And when you return to those pranic days,
this is where it gets good. You
are at a heightened place. You're not going backwards. You're not even staying the same. You are increasing your skill every time. So not worrying about the kind of ebb and flow, just kind of enjoying it and knowing that you're actually making improvements.
Look at this as like energy kung fu. Wax on, wax off. And just like when you go to the gym and start working out, you'll build up an appetite because your organs don't know the difference. All it knows is it got energy from somewhere. So when you come into these meditative practices, there's going to be that hunger. You understand? And we just talked about the two main things was what? Not only the food energy of eating, also the sexual energy. That builds up because of what? A healthy body is a sexual body. The blood is flowing. Everything's there. What do I do? So now you got to get used to this what? New form of lifestyle. Oh, man, that's the next phase.
Right. You're right, because it's, man, I loving this because, I mean, I feel the intense hunger sometimes. And I remember when you said, Elitom, you said this, and you said sometimes the energy or the forces will make you hungry to, maybe you're moving too fast, maybe you need to go and socialize. Right. And I don't know, maybe because I feel like sometimes I put so much pressure on myself, and working on is to not have the judgment. You know what I mean? The judgment of that experience. And it's like, but I don't know, is when I feel it, I don't want to go back to those dance food. It's everywhere. Like I here in the Bahamas, bro. Like I in Freeport. Like people they don't even believe you could eat only fruits. Like you don't even meet vegetarian here. So it's like I'm here and I love this space of being alone, but I love my family. And then when it's time to eat with them, I do remember when you guys said, look, enjoy your family if you enjoy eating. But it's like the minute I eat some of that cooked food, it's like, boom, this beast want to wake up and all it want to do is eat, and then get back in that space. All right, let me meditate, feel good for another day or two. And it's like this war. I don't want to call it a war, but it's like, it's this part of me that wants to live. And then it's this other part of me that I really want, but it's more in the long run, right?
Right. You're always becoming a human being.
Right.
We're always growing.
So my question for you is, when you feel like you're in that place where you're having that war and you're like struggling and you really want to eat, but at the same time you don't, what do you do in that time? Like, is that the time where you start doing breath work? Is that the time where you start focusing on your meditation, or what do you do?
Right. Well, I start doing breath work, but not all the time. Sometimes I really it's so strong that it's like the lower forces, and I don't mean to call it the lower forces, but it pulls me. And let me tell you, Elitom, it's like this, I don't know if it's insanity, but I enjoy the hell out of that meal.
Right.
When I eating that.
And that's the key. You enjoying it.
Yeah.
But to stay in the practices, that's what we try to keep people to stay motivated, to stay with the energy work. Give yourself time to love yourself, and don't be hard on yourself. See, that's the key word you say, being hard on ourselves. Oh man, I put in all this work and identified myself again. And that's like part of the path.
Yeah, and just remember it's a cycle. Like we said, those times where you're eating and you're enjoying the meal, that's like the rest period between your workout, right? So enjoy it, and then when you get back on track doing your breath work and eating lighter, you're going to be in a new elevated place and just enjoying that.
Because I got a friend from years back, and she's awesome at energy work. Now, when people first see her, she's overweight. Now listen at this, she's overweight, but she's an awesome energy worker. Now I know what. And sometimes people question it. How could she be awesome in energy work, but she loved to eat? But her dedication over the years to the practices overrode her physical body. Now, she's not a breatharian, but just off of that level of being dedicated to the practices and the energy work, now what she's kicking in now, just think if I could master the food, she will be off the hook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does increase your energy. I mean, anybody can be an energy worker regardless of
right.
You know, I mean, that's
so we can be user friendly, right?
But the cleaner your diet is, of course, the cleaner your channels are, the energy does.
And she do understand that. She just had that other battle with the food, but the dedication she had though, because I've known her for over 15 years. Morning she's meditating, powerful. Noon, dinner, and those were her meditations. But she do it consistently, and over a period of time she grew. But like we said, if she only could master that food part, she would have been off the hook, even though she still have a nice energy. See, everybody's coming from different avenues. Some people do got to struggle with the weight, the food. Nobody's arguing that. Some people got to struggle with the discipline, you know, of the meditations.
Just doing it
so
every day. Right.
You got to find where you at and then what you need to strengthen or tweak. So when we say perfect health is time management, you got your strong points. You know what those are. You got that. Now just kind of look at your weak points and just tweak them a little bit. Don't try to stop it all at once, but purge yourself to strengthen the weak parts of yourself. This is, again, energy kung fu. Right.
And letting go of the guilt, too, because that is an emotion. And sometimes we eat when we have certain emotions, right? It'll make you want more because you think, oh, well, I've already eaten, I'm going to have more. And then the whole game starts in the mind. You know what I mean? So it's just letting go of all that and truly enjoying where you are. You know, you're going to have that meal, like really enjoy it and just say, this is okay, you know?
Now,
come as you are, you know?
There will be a day that temperance will have to kick in. And temperance is when you do use some self-restraint. Now, what that mean is, okay, even on those levels, don't mean you have to hold it all away, but at least pick a time period where you will, how we say, give yourself that downtime instead of just any time. So have that discipline on that also. Because your body's like a little kid and it's listening to you. It's sort of like, hey, if you can do this, this, and this, I'll award you over here, but we can have some downtime. Because just like bodybuilding, not only you tearing up the muscle to build the muscle, it's the rest that counts. So we'll be in systems of energy. We have our up times and we have our down times. That's natural. That's normal.
Okay.
You're going to have your up seasons and your down seasons of energy flow. You start learning your own seasons. And as you start working with yourself, you know your up season coming. It's sort of like you're a surfer getting on a surfboard. You know your up season coming. You take advantage of it. But like how Shana was saying, the more you come into it, and say if you have your downtime again, you come into it again, you get stronger and stronger and go longer periods of time. Because the healthier the organism, the longer it could go without food.
Yes.
And then it'll get to the point where the way you feel is so amazing
that
you realize that the food's just not worth it. And you realize nothing tastes as good as this feels.
Absolutely.
You'll just get to that point. It just starts kind of clicking in.
You think
so it's nothing you can force.
You know, not just the taste, but how you feel. Like
the feeling state.
Right. So focus
on that'll come in.
you put in so much work. You said, not this time, I don't want to be in that cycle, because you know what that cycle is going to be like.
Right.
Yeah. There was a cycle as soon as I started eating, and then I said, well, what the heck? Let me eat again the second day, and about the third day it cools down, and then I'm sitting up there not eating again, and you're in this cycle. Once you eat, it opens up a door.
Right.
And then it'll get close smaller too.
What'd you say, Shana?
Oh, it'll get smaller. So you might like, yeah, I'm going to eat for 3 days, but then over time, it's like, oh, well, maybe it'll just be 2 days, or maybe it'll be 1 day, because it'll be easier to get back on track.
Get back
over time.
But the main thing, like how you said that testimony on the beginning, when you felt the connection to the universe, whether if you eat or not eat, whether if you feel it or don't feel it, you're still connected.
Yeah, and that's getting stronger.
It really,
all the time.
Even like when I first started, it took a while, you know, but after like 4 months, I could just get there in one breath and just feel it all over my body, just in one breath. And I see what you mean now, like how our souls are like, you know, it's like a baby, and you know, you got to work on your energetic body. You got to work on it gradually, you know, and it seemed too like I got so deeply connected to myself, where, you know, I was also having some financial issues, and it really helped me to get by and having a trust in self, the universe, because I realized abundance is just right at my fingertips. So when I would feel energy coming in, I'm like, why am I really like worried if I'm always taken care of in that sense? You know,
absolutely.
The void is this illusion that I kind of create, you know?
Yes.
When I keep indulging and it seems like, you know, Elitom and Shana, like it's a lot of hereditary too, because, you know, like my father had me, he's 50 years old. And, you know, he loves sweets, just addicted. He just loves it, right? And one thing that, you know, I remember you guys were saying, and even the church, is that a lot of the stuff you're dealing with, it's not even really yours. Like, you have to like overcome. It's like, this is just the cards you've been dealt with. And I'm like, you know, this cosmic game gets really interesting.
Right.
You start putting before, like, don't have any other gods before me. And you really have a deeper sense in cutting out the middleman, you know?
Like,
But there's so much cults. It's like, no matter where I go, it's so weird. Like, it's, you know, I go with these Rastaman them. I go with the Hebrew Israelite them. And I go, and it just seemed like there's a middleman everywhere. And I sometimes just so deeply want to express, right? Like how this is, because it's so practical, and it revolution changes because you realize, wait, is there really a government, or is that just a reflection of what I like participate in, of my choices, of you know, what I choose to ingest? So, you know, when I went on just 3 days of just the prana work, I looked around my community, and you know, it was a lot of suffering. You know, and, you know, we had a bad hurricane here too in Bahamas that, you know, really like a lot of people died from it. And you start to think like, wow, like everyone kind of complaining about the government and all this, but I see them get so much things they don't need, so much necessary, like, and I'm like thinking like, wow, I wish I could, you know, kind of just give it all out, right? And just see, like, we really professionals at creating suffering.
Yeah.
And I try.
Suffering we created. Or we could create peace.
Right. And but I didn't really get it that deeply till I started like being a cultivator.
The breathwork makes a huge difference. I'm sure you've noticed that.
You know, it's beyond the books now. And
the cultivating your true self to come forward. It's inside.
all attachments fall away. You know, anything you're hooked into, whether it's your personal belongings or the food or even any emotion that's lower, the suffering, all of that just kind of falls away when you start this path. It's a beautiful path.
You're a self-sustaining being, no in between. This is very powerful. That perception of thought, and stay with it, and you grow into it, more confidence. And it won't quit. Energy love to grow. See, the good thing about it, you got to look at it, and I like how you with this younger generation, y'all got it now. Can you imagine 10 years from now, y'all gonna be somewhere else?
I know.
You stick with this path.
You have such good realizations. Yeah.
Right.
Good consciousness.
The world already changed. Just from who's working with it right now, you're going to grow. But it won't stop.
Kind of funny.
100-fold, 200-fold.
Right. It's kind of funny when they see you doing like tree poses and stuff on the beach, and they wondering like, yo, what the hell is, what are you doing? You know, and that sparks that interest, you know. And Elitom, I remember when you said the light, it's only based on the value you give it. I remember.
Absolutely.
It's no end.
It's no end. We just scratching the surface. I mean, we already did a lot already in such short a time. Like I said, all you got to say is, what, 3 months from now, you're going to be a whole other being talking to me on this thing.
Oh, totally.
6 months from now. So that's how you got to look at it. The food is child's play.
Just a month from now.
I can't stop you.
I like
in
that.
And out. The food comes in and out. It's not really part of the path, believe it or not. The path is the energy cultivation. So whether you're eating or not doesn't really matter. Of course, you want to train the body to eat less and less.
Right.
But it doesn't make any difference. It's the energy cultivation.
And that'll fall off after a while because the energy cultivation is energy. It's really going to say, I don't even want it.
Yeah, it'll just fall away.
Whoa.
So you don't even have to worry about the swings. Just don't even concern yourself with that.
It can't stop you. You're too powerful.
Yeah.
You know, Shane, I like how you say that. It just comes in and out. Like food isn't designed to stay in the body. So, you know, if you eat 10 pounds of shit, you have to shit out 10 pounds of shit. So it's like, it doesn't stay. And it's real. It just comes and goes. But I get this fear sometimes I have when I eat and I feel lowered. Like, man, is this gonna stop me, hold me back? And I don't want to give it that power.
Yeah, it's just your energy responding to the density of the food. You know, as soon as you stop eating it, or if you just do a water fast the next day, or whenever you feel like it, then your energy will go back up. So
Absolutely.
know that you have the power over it. It doesn't have the power of you.
And this is a good age we're in that we can talk about this. You understand? We're here now. It is not going to stop. There's more and more people, like I said, coming into this, feeling this connection and working with these energies. And just like the changes we make is already affecting you and vice versa. So we got this. We're doing a good job.
Yeah. The other thing I want to say too is if you eat something and it makes you feel heavy, it's not taking away the work that you've done. It's not actually decreasing your personal prana. Right? That's still within you. What it does is it actually blocks you from feeling it. Okay? So you can't feel it, but it's still there.
You're still
just
connected.
Remember that. So don't think, oh, I've slipped back. That's not the case
I was wondering. You know, it's funny.
Exactly.
You must have read my mind because I will cultivate and love it. And then I'll eat something and I'll feel like, damn, did I waste that cultivation?
No, absolutely not. No, that's why we're saying you take that pause, but when you come back to it, you're more elevated than you were before.
Absolutely.
So it's always there. The food will keep you from feeling it.
That's all it is. But you're still connected.
It's still there.
Because there was one man who said, I was on a process for 5 days and then I broke my process. I said, but that's not the breaking of the process. You're still in the process. You eating was part of the process.
Right.
So we got that old religious mind in us backsliding. You ain't backslide. You growing. You designed to grow.
Yeah. Every day you grow. So just have faith in that part of it.
Just for living in this realm, you're getting radiated by the radiation around you. Yeah. It's going into your bone. It's going into your bone marrow and it's growing. Whoop, whoop.
And the more conscious you are, right?
Oh,
so even if you're not doing all the breath work, just being more conscious of this alone. So you can you combine that with the breathwork and the meditations and the qigong and everything, and you're cultivating all the time.
Oh, this is awesome.
And it just keeps getting higher and higher.
Just gonna keep going.
So you're not even tempted anymore.
True. I feel it so much more, like just so much more after it's been about 11 months of consistency.
Right.
And I sometimes, you know, I be up at night, like a little, like trying to think, okay, what I can do with this extra energy. Let me write. So it's definitely the time management, because I'm so used to not having energy. It's only, I have to kickstart some cognitive thinking, like, and entertainment ain't the same no more. It's like, you know, by the way, I just proposed to my girlfriend last weekend.
Oh, congratulations. Oh, that's so great.
Awesome.
You know,
Nice.
and it's great. And I remember too, sorry, Elitom, there's so much things that you said, some other yogis said that it made so much sense that breatharianism is, you know, more for like the elderly, or as you become more saturated with the human experience, right? Like and there was a time you said about, if you're not burnt out, there's a chance you're not really done enjoying that particular meal, or I guess having, you know, so it seems
Right.
like even with saturation, where, okay, I'm done with that experience, you know?
Ready to move on.
But me being a young man, I thinking like, yo, maybe I shouldn't try to speed up and just enjoy the experiences my life bringing.
Exactly.
But stay on.
Stay on the path. And what I want to say is that, as you remember when you said that now all it takes is just one breath and you can feel your energy rising?
Yes.
Right? So it's going to continue like that to where, and it's going to even grow. So now all you have to do is think about it, and your energy will rise within a second.
Absolutely.
Right? And that will start happening. And then you'll notice that the energy is rising all the time.
All the
you've
time.
moved into a state where you don't even have to think about it. You don't even have to breathe. It's like, boom, it's constantly running. It's like when I do my Reiki work, right? I used to have to think about sending the Reiki, and now it's like just constantly flows, because it's become my state, because I practiced it so much. It's the same thing. So when you've hit that, where it's just constantly and automatically going without you even thinking about it,
Right.
that's when you've hit it. That's when everything falls away. So it's continuing the practice.
Now listen at this too. He just proposed to his girlfriend to get married. Now listen at this. When people think of breatharianism, they just think about the food. But it's a lifestyle. Everything is nourishing you. So that relationship is nourishing you. It can draw energy from you, or it could give you back energy. So what's in your mind of being on the breatharian path, you should make this the most highlighted marriage ever. The best ever. So you can have the best highlighted life ever that gives you breast nourishment, better energy, better health. That's how you think on every level. Whoa.
Yeah.
That's the path. That's heavy, ain't it?
Yeah.
You got the best girl ever. You got nothing can come against it. That's how you thinking. That's an energy. That's the nourishment. High vibration.
Oh, it made everything you're saying just, it makes so much sense in that, you know, just because I used to feel like, you know, my mindset is better now, because, you know, at first, you feel like people don't understand you in the early stages, you know. And there's one thing that one of my elders told me. He passed away, and this was the first thing he said to me. And he said that what you're searching for in life is invisible and inaudible. And you know, it sounded good. I was like, wow, that's a profound statement, you know, what he said. And I come in so deep into more what he meant. Like, even when when we was walking out on the park, I was 19 then. I'm actually 30 now. I just look young. And he said, look, if you can't walk out in the park and if you cannot enjoy this walk,
right,
everything you're doing in life is in vain. If you just cannot.
That's wise.
enjoy.
Very wise.
Say, young man, you have all these desires. You want to be revolutionary. You want to do all these things. But if you can't just come on this ride and enjoy this day, you need to reevaluate your thoughts.
Right. Absolutely.
That's about being in the present moment. Totally. Letting go of all the chatter and this and that, and just
that right there is the Breatharian message.
Mm-hmm. It's a spiritual path, you know.
Without a doubt.
It's a path back to the self, you know, and just that inner connectivity to all there is, and that stillness, and being able to not let the world catch you up.
Because that's the nourishing force. The one where you can enjoy and see clearly. You understand that this is beautiful that we live in. Perfect universe, perfect bodies, perfect situations.
Perfect alignments.
Perfect alignments. Yeah. That's the message. It's a thought process.
And that will happen more and more the further you go along this path, and more energy you cultivate. You're going to have more alignments, more blessings, more miracles, more everything.
Already, I can only imagine.
Oh, it's even more so.
The line.
It blows your mind. It's amazing.
Right.
Like, I don't even do like with, it's, oh man, sorry. I feel like I all over the place. Sometimes I don't be able to express, because to meet someone that does it every day, you line, you know what I mean? So especially to be able to talk to you and, you know, I was just thinking of the alignments that's been taking place, and money that comes to me. And I swear to you, sometimes I'd be like, I don't even know. My girl would be like, oh, you got rent again. You know, it just, the way it aligns is amazing. And it's just the trust and the persistence. I see, Elitom, now why you said, from what Shana talked about, and just being able to think about it as you continue in the process, why just being consistent is important, you know?
Right.
And
consistent.
Really, it makes it so real. Like, it's not this intangible idea that I used to have about God, or, you know, it's this thing where I actually get to work on myself, like, for real. But I'm drive around the place looking for an organic apple, you know.
And you're already seeing results. So it doesn't matter if you eat with your family once in a while or not, or whatever. You're already seeing results. You're already cultivating the energy. It's already happening.
Oh, you there. And then on a period of time, how should we say, the energies of the families on your growth will start respecting your new decision.
They'll start seeing the difference.
Right. In other words, like if I go to a family get together now, it's no argument. I can sit there and look at everybody.
I only could imagine, man, the transition. Because, man, if you say, you know, at least now people waking up to the no meat thing, but just being on only fruits is like, I can only imagine me saying, oh, I don't eat. Oh, my Lord, my mother would go crazy.
But you know what? She'll get used to it. You know, my family has. You know, over time, they're just like, oh, okay, well, that's Shana for you. That's Mark, you know. They'll just, you know, they will eventually accept it, you know. And if you're happy and healthy and shining and your life is great, then how could they argue with that, you know? And that's a phenomenon all over the world. Believe me, I hear it about the mothers saying, wait a minute. But they love you, the family love you, they want to make sure you're all right. Yeah, and food is, you know, love. You know, food is love. That's the way our families think about it. So that's a paradigm of thinking. And you can say, you know, I can enjoy spending with you and time with you in other ways, you know. Let's go for a walk. But even deep down inside, they'll think about it. They'll be like, he got a point there. Because I even thought myself, here I am, food free, and my son was traveling with me. And I'm thinking in my mind, you all right? You want something to eat? And he like, wait a minute. But due to that being your baby growing up, that's how you're thinking.
Right.
And with my own conversations with my own mother, you know, when introducing this path to her, her face just dropped because she's afraid that I'm not going to eat, I'm going to get too skinny, I'm going to die, you know, whatever it is. And then I started explaining to her, it's the cultivation, it's the energy. And she's like, oh, and then she started to understand. And then she sees how my life is better. And now she's in support. So it's just kind of explaining it in a way, in the same way we're trying to explain it to the world.
Right.
Right. It's
and due to the age we're in now, this age of information, the last retreat we had was just awesome. But I was able to look at everybody and say it was explained so thoroughly with the education. You can sit down with anybody now, once you got this, and explain it to them with a straight face. It ain't mythical no more. We are cultivating. Everybody's energy beings.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's not about giving up the food. And our moms need to know that.
Right.
Yeah.
The food will fall off.
It's not about giving that up. It's about increasing the energy. And that's the focus. And when you do that, you just naturally need less.
Absolutely.
I mean, imagine what would happen if everyone around the world ate less. Just in general.
Whoa,
I mean, we would save so many resources. Our planet would just be doing so much better, just eating a little bit less. You know?
He who eat less, live longer.
Well, and then there's that too, the personal body.
And this is somewhere else.
You know, like just the mental clarity you get from it, and you don't have as much emotional triggers.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then that next phase, depending on how your life is, like I tell people, if you got your family and stuff like that, that's one thing. We understand that. Keep that unity frequency. But then if you open up your life where you ain't got all that no more, you know, everybody's grown, the kids grown, you ain't in no relationship, you know, like how I be rolling. You do want to see that next phase of curiosity.
Yeah, see you at that phase now. You see, I just starting. That's why I brought up the saturation, and I didn't have a child yet, nor a family. You know, got to make some more money, got to keep the queen happy, all that.
Right.
And in between is the prana work. Like I get so, you get so passionate about it, you know, and I know what to do with nothingness now. That's I didn't know what to do with it. You know, I just would sit there and be like, okay, I'm going to be quiet. I'm meditating. I'm going to be quiet. But you don't really, like, what you doing like that? Because, you know, people think, oh, it's, you know, silence your mind. That's meditation. Like, oh no. Oh my. Goes so much deeper than that. You know? You know, Elitom, it was something interesting you said too about, you know, like how when we grow up, right? And you know, there's people that have scoliosis or a spinal curvature, or, you know, our skeleton, like, because we eat so much and it's the added weight.
Right.
I remember you saying something about like our body has to make like an adjustment, right? Where will, the bones may grow in a abnormal way.
Well, I'd like to add something to that too. Stored emotions will cause that also.
Okay.
So if someone, for example, is storing a lot of like deep-seated anger or pain, it could also or trauma, it could also cause the bones to grow in another way.
Absolutely.
So it's weight, but it's also the emotion. So when you're on this path, not only are you lightening your body, but you're also lightening and you're healing the emotional level and the mind and the energy. So everything becomes more aligned.
And to back that up, that is not just a philosophy. I met some guy in Thailand who actually went to your spinal cord from the side. And sure enough, I felt emotions that I didn't even think about every time he touched a certain point. So it does lodge itself in. So our whole body is a mind. It is our consciousness.
And it's storing emotions, I mean.
Constantly. Picking up information that's beyond us.
This is why when we do like deep, like if you do a deep colon cleanse or something like that, you might have some like really old emotions from like 10, 20 years come up that you're experiencing because it's stored in the body. So that's why cleansing is nice. But a lot of times we have physical pains and issues, whether it's a twisted ankle or a crooked back or whatever it is, and it's an emotional blockage.
Oh man,
or
this
something
is
that
awesome.
you're hanging on to emotionally.
And then that goes back to what? Some of the stuff we deal with ain't even come from us.
Right, it could be. Yeah. And this is one reason why like the breath work and things like that so helpful, because it really helps to just let go of stuff and rise above it, you know. All of these energy cultivation practices help us kind of move through that and go in and do some deep healing work.
Oh, absolutely. Because keep in mind, heal is the root word of health. And a lot of people want to jump to these spiritual powers without the healing. Yeah. But once you get to healing, you ain't got to chase the power. The power will come to you.
Yeah. And the healing is built into the path.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the healing's built in the path. So as you go along this path, you're naturally going to be healing along the way. It's impossible not to.
It's impossible not to, because that comes with the alignment.
Mm-hmm.
That comes with the balance.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. That's how we know. It can be measured.
Right. If you come in contact with it every day, and you know, they're saying that the creature don't desire this. It's the light, right? It's the light.
Right.
Desire it. So if you come in contact with it every day, it, you know, it does seem like it may, even on a cellular level, there's a transcription or a transmutation of the cell, you know, because when you look at like cancer cells and, you know, they have a low enzymic activity, you know, low biophotonic energy. So if you keep steady with the practice, it does seem to, you know, I mean, you know what you realize, you're so self-observant of everything you do. It's really interesting. And
right.
The cells just reflect my state of consciousness or my understanding of self-knowledge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
and your emotions. So one thing you'll notice is when you're on this path is it actually increases your level of bliss. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, bliss and empathy.
Yeah. But I've noticed I just get more in that bliss state, more in that happy state, the more meditation I do, the more breath work I do. So the happier you are, the more your cells respond.
Oh, absolutely.
And the more they move into a healthy state of being.
And somebody asked us last night, why is you always smiling? We was happy. Why should we be?
Because you're on the path. And that's how you know when you're on the path, is you just get happier and happier. Yeah.
Hey, my girl like your laugh, man.
Oh, man, thanks. It's like, contagious.
When, you know, I play in a recording and, you know, my I should say my fiance now, right? She had that laugh. She just can't help but smile.
Oh, that's wild. It's contagious.
That's great.
Oh, man. I was at this one place one time laughing. Somebody said, that got to be Elitom. They heard it.
You know, it's so beautiful because it's such a different type of revolution. It's the real one. To me.
The real one.
It's the real one because, you know, we got brothers when you watch Shana TV, you watch like the Black conscious community, even brothers here, you know, they get into the white supremacy still, brother. They still get into, you know, the reptilians and, you know, all that stuff.
Right.
And here is like, wait, the real revolution is just right here. It's just
right here.
Right here.
And when you change yourself, you change the universe. That's powerful. You change your reality just by going inside.
Right. And
you help change. And you help changing everyone around you too.
That's a lot of power. Whoa. Incredible. That's why we happy all the time.
I think I'm the happiest one around here too.
Yeah, you know.
Besides the judgment sometimes. I'm gonna work on that, you know. I just really appreciate this exchange because to be able to talk about my experiences, especially how you guys are so like elders, you know. You're like elders, you know. and just to come into this knowledge now, even before I have a child, before I have a family, like I feel like I'm so around my understanding,
right,
and application and death. That whole thing about death and culture and fear of death, that don't even exist no more.
Absolutely,
it's gone.
Right.
When
you coming into it with your right step forward. Absolutely, and this is a beautiful thing.
Like you said, it's the real revolution. I absolutely love that. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing we can't do.
This is the real thing.
No, ain't nothing, man. I actually created these recordings and I trying to pass it out around here in the community.
Right.
Spread the awareness just of connection. So I would invite people over to the beach, you know, and just like, even like this brother who's a doctor, a good friend of mine.
Right.
Your videos. He works like in the emergency room. He say, wait, what? You mean to tell me that this, well, he used the N-word. But you mean to tell me that this dude don't eat a drink? Get the fuck out of here.
Tell them I'll be coming to visit y'all soon in the Bahamas. That sounds like a good vacation spot.
Oh yeah, bro. It's. I mean, the air, nature's everywhere, and
right.
You really start to, like how you say, it's not just sitting by a tree, when Jesus went. I was trying to tell some brothers here, I use Jesus because that's what they know. This is a Christian nation. So I was telling some brothers, you say, when Jesus went in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights, he wasn't just sitting by a tree, just hugging the tree. You know what I mean?
Right.
He was getting into the cultivation, feeling that.
Absolutely.
It's so weird because it's like I'm not doing anything. It's like I'm just allowing it to take.
Allowing. He was going through his process. We had to do a video on that.
Well, I even mentioned that in one of our videos. I was talking about Saint Teresa of Avila. Do you know who she is?
No.
She's a Catholic saint who was known to levitate when she was in meditation. And this is documented. And people would ask her, or someone asked her once, what do you do in meditation? And her answer was this: I just allow God to love me. That was it. So it was just an allowing.
An allowing. That's what it is at the end of the day. We're already designed to do this.
Mm-hmm. Just allowing it.
It's allowing it. So you did bring up that word war. You don't want to use that word, but that's what's happening inside. It's just that little transformational
it's the
struggle.
mind. It's the war of the mind is what it is.
Armageddon. It's the revolution.
Thinking is like, that's the thing that really messes you up. Like, the thoughts.
That's why you have to work on reprogramming yourself. Every time you catch yourself with a thought, just nope. Like, oh, I can't do this, or no, I'm going to get sick if I do this too long. No, I'm healthy. I'm, happy. I can do this. Just immediately catch it and reprogram.
Whole nother ball game.
That's it. Shana, you said just what I thought I'm trying to defeat. When I eat something, right, and I know it ain't all that great, and then I'd be like, man, if I do this too long, I'm going to be sick. That download in itself,
Yeah.
You're programming yourself for it. So immediately catch it and say, nope, I'm done with it. I don't need it. I'm not going to be sick. I'm perfect. I'm healthy. I have all the energy I need, and just program yourself right out of it.
That's why in some of the teachings I used to say a liquidarian is a lot higher than a juicitarian. Now, the reason why I say that? A juicitarian is a person who do it because of the organic, the enzymes, the enzyme knowledge. A liquidarian is a person that just say, I want to taste that to have that experience. You ain't even judging. And that's a whole other ball game.
Okay.
But it works differently when it hits the body. You'll be surprised. And you'll be sitting up there, man, I feel like more energy and I'm getting healthier. And I didn't even judge that.
Right.
And the thought removed it because you gave it the power.
Yeah. And I also want to tell you that our emotions and our thoughts have frequencies, right? So when you start thinking, oh, I'm eating this too long and I'm going to have this negative effect, your energy is now going here because it's a lower frequency. But when you catch that and you reverse it and say, no, I can do this, I'm cultivating my energy, blah, 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 all these happy, positive things, the energy goes back up, and then you energy match to that.
Whole nother ball game.
You're going to energy match to whatever you're thinking. And that's why it's really important to be reprogramming yourself and catch it early. And you'll even notice as you go down, you'll notice the energy go up based on what you're thinking and telling yourself.
Because going back to my one friend that I said earlier who was overweight, but is an awesome energy worker. She's an awesome energy worker because she knows she is.
Mm-hmm. When she's practiced it.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I needed to hear. This is what I needed to hear. It's really like how you say, it's a complete different mindset when, okay, I'm eating this because it's organic and it sustains me,
Right.
And compared to, I just want to taste it. Just have that experience.
Have that experience.
Enjoy it.
And, just not, because it's like the judgment is what tethers it to you. It seems like.
Absolutely.
And it like, I love what Shana said, like, just catch it right there. Like when you had that, your last webinar with mental fasting.
Right.
With mental fasting. I read the book and it just, it's so simple and life's so simple, but human beings be so complex sometimes.
Oh man.
Right. Like our emotions, the way we've been brought up, our childhood
programming. In our own way.
you know?
But we can use that to our advantage. We have these amazing complex emotional systems. We can use that to our advantage by saying, yes, I can produce any emotion I want.
Right.
Right? You have control over it. So I'm going to decide to produce the emotion of happiness and gratitude and use that to pull myself out of it.
Right?
Oh,
without a doubt.
If we didn't have that emotional framework, if we didn't have the ability to control our emotions, we wouldn't be able to pull ourselves out.
Absolutely.
And run our energy higher. You choose how you're running your energy. You choose it with your thoughts.
And nobody's arguing. It's work in the beginning. That's why we did that 7-day mental fast. It's work, but once you got it, it gets easier and easier.
Yeah.
And that's the real work.
Start catching it faster and faster and reversing it and reprogramming, and it's all part of it.
And that's absolutely just like how our day's starting out here. We're going to make the day happy. We ain't going to wait the day to make us happy.
We knew last night that today was going to be
We already knew.
It was going to be great, you know?
Couldn't even sleep because you waited for tomorrow.
Right.
This is it. You loving this life. You loving this frequency. It's a whole nother love affair.
So anytime you catch your frequency going down, say, oh, is it something I'm thinking? Is it, you know, what am I feeling? You know, then catch it and do what you can to.
Oh, absolutely.
To get back into that flow.
Because energy follows the thought.
Yeah.
And
if you're eating and you can't feel the frequency, that's okay. Just know, okay, so the food numbed me out a little bit. You know, that doesn't mean it's not there. You know, it's still there.
Like the snake with the bulge in his stomach. He ain't moving right
now. Wow. This was almost therapy for me right here. You know, because it just kind of reassures, like, even thoughts like, you know, immortality or what the energy was speaking about on high level cultivators. It's like when it becomes a personal experience, if you are brings in more energy compared to exhausting it. Because, you know, what people don't get is our thinking brings us to energy exhaustion, and we false idea of age. Like, it's like if I buy a new pair of pants and I go to work in construction in it, within like 2 to 3 weeks, it can look like I had it for like maybe a couple of years.
Right.
When you get a new pair of pants and you kind of, you know, you treat it, you don't like abuse it, and, you know, you take care of it, you could have it for 20 years and it could still look fairly decent, right?
Right.
Is realizing that what we call death is just an abuse of the avatar, and we just kind of crash in the ship, you know, and then we crash the ship, and then we say, okay, well, you know, it's just natural, bro. You know, it's just
right.
Death makes sense to me now. I never, I don't, but it's in a way, it's, the force is so mysterious, and fall in love with it more and more.
Absolutely.
Now
it's a great love affair.
Yeah. It's like, you know, it's like this love that always been there, because in sleep, like you say, is unconscious meditation. So all my life I've been an unconscious cultivator. My life I cultivated. Now that I consciously doing it, it's like, I'm so much more happier. And I tell people, you already doing it. You can't not do it. You know, it's just to the point now where to silence the mind, body, you know, soul. And now it's weird to say, okay, well, brother, so you telling me, brother, to defeat white supremacy, brother, you surrender? You know, you so but I'm like, no, bro, like, you don't, when you feel it, you know, you know, and I talk about the mindset, you know what I mean? That when it comes to revolutionary in making a change, and they think that, okay, well, let me go heal the homeless, or no, feed the homeless. Let me go do these things. But I'm like, I mean, is that really a real change? Like, for real, you know? And now it's so evident in my life to just keep going. Like, what I getting from y'all is, look, you can feel numbed out sometimes. You're human. You know, we're human. I'm human. But just because you numbed out, just like if you have a surgery and they numb out your mouth and they do, your mouth's still there. The nerve, the teeth still there. The minute the drug wears off,
right,
it's right there. It didn't stop the taste. So that made so much sense when you said, okay, for a second.
Right.
It didn't stop it. It's not stopping my personal development.
Absolutely.
Thank
you keep going until you become drug free.
That's right.
That's it. Sober. Purity, like you say, purity is the new high.
Yeah.
I'm working.
It really is.
Oh, we got to make a new song with that. See, we got so much stuff planned. Oh, we rolling.
Actually, we're going to be doing a retreat in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be a retreat that you can do from home. So it'll be live webinar style retreat, and it'll be broadcast from the vortexes in Sedona, Arizona.
Oh, man.
Okay.
So, and that'll be for anyone who wants to tap into that. So we're going to start advertising that very soon.
Right, that and Mount Shasta.
Well, Mount Shasta will be an in-person retreat this summer.
Right, this summer.
And then, of course, we also want to invite people to come visit us on our new YouTube channel called Prana Talk TV.
Okay, Prana Talk.
Where, Prana Talk TV on YouTube, and it's a lot of Elitom and I giving talks together, and we're starting to do new interviews of other breatharians around the world and things like that. So it's very educational. And now you got us looking at the Bahamas. Yeah. That'd be an awesome breatharian retreat.
Anytime you're all ready, brother. You got some beautiful spots here, bro. Like,
I'm sure.
We got Gold Rock Beach, Xanadu Beach. You know,
he already the tour guy. Look at this.
Of course.
Yeah, man. Oh, they can. I got some brothers here, bro. They will meet you, dog. They really.
Oh yeah. So we can break all doubt, and so we can grow together because we're one consciousness. This is what it's all about.
Yeah.
So we're just not traveling around just to travel around. We're to meet these people, you understand, so they can know that they can do it too. Everybody's connected to this force.
Yeah, and it dissolves all division between all peoples because we really are all connected.
Right.
We are all one.
So like you were saying before about the mindset of defeating white supremacy, that's it. When you come into connected with the force, that dissolves everything for everybody.
It like transmutes it. It rises above it. It transcends it, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Somewhere else. And everybody starts seeing that other thing. We say it, but to make it from myth to reality, everything is one.
Yeah, and you start feeling
This is duality. You start feeling. It's a feeling state.
It goes along with the whole bliss. You know, the bliss increases, and then the whole connectivity to everyone, regardless of who you are, and the whole universe and cosmos. Everything just kind of falls into alignment. And
absolutely.
You really start feeling it.
That's some of the laws. And see, just like how the Chinese used to say, even a mean dog wags his tail. Everything starts, all right, we got it now.
Everything balances out and unifies.
So this is awesome. This is an awesome broadcast once again. We hope we said a lot that'll help.
Yeah.
And vice versa. This won't be the last one.
Yeah.
No, man. This is like the introduction. You know, this
is the introduction.
You know, that's like our first encounter, you know, and in the future, you know, coming down to the Bahamas and, you know, bringing a retreat, I would love to do that in the future. Oh,
without a doubt. And we call it this retreat series we got coming up, like what we said, Sedona and Mount Shasta. We call it the Vortex series. I like that.
It's going to be the Breatharian Vortex retreats.
Right.
Because we're tapping into the power centers of the earth and utilizing that energy to really help cultivate more energy and help people make the transition more easily.
Right. And everybody on the planet heard about the Bahamas, so that's a vortex in itself.
We got one here. You know, the one breatharian I knew said that there's a ley line in a vortex going through this island, you know, like.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which island are you on?
I on Grand Bahama, Freeport, Grand Bahama. You know, it's right next to kind of West Palm Beach, you know, right next to Florida.
Awesome.
Okay.
See, you're right there on that big vortex curve.
Yeah.
So the whole world, and see, and it's more than just the vortexes of the place where we hit this. It's actually doing the energy pathway that's getting everybody on those ley lines. They'll start thinking about not eating and don't even know why.
Right.
Yeah, when I used to go to Lake Shasta, for example, because that's another vortex energy up here in Northern California, and I noticed early in my path that I was not even hungry when I would be there. And I was hiking all day long, swimming, very active. I was only eating a couple hundred calories a day. And I'm like, why am I not hungry? So it was just naturally, I mean, I was already on the path. I was already meditating a lot, but it was such a marked difference being there versus
just to run into it.
You know,
and this information we've given is just an extra add-on. A lot of people was already there, but this extra one is just saying, okay, you can do this.
But the thing is, the thing is, you don't have to actually stay in the vortex to maintain that. So once you're there and you get a taste of that in your body, see what that feels like, you can actually take that home and maintain that level of energy, because it keeps growing.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? So that's why we're going to start doing these retreats at these power centers to really help people step into that new level. Right? Even if it's from your own living room online, you know, you're still feeling the energy. We're still broadcasting it. We can still send it to you over distance. It's quite amazing.
Oh, yes. So we're on offense right now.
Yeah.
We're running the strong offense.
Yeah.
No defense no more. Strong offense. Got the right players in line and everything's moving forward. Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is what it's all about. The teamwork of the light. Because the light wants this to happen. They ain't even personal.
It's true.
It's transforming everything and everybody.
Yeah. As soon as it came in, it was a download. Oh, this is what we're going to do. Immediately, we started getting messages from people who wanted it. And it was like, okay, it's all
confirmation.
Confirmation. This is what.
Oh man.
This is in the flow. It's supposed to happen.
Right. Ain't even trying.
Right. That's true. And that's the way it is when you're on this path. Things line up.
We like this whistling.
Just chilling. Just chilling. The thought.
Let the light work for you.
You never have to wonder what you're supposed to do, because it just opens up for you. You know, you get the idea.
Wow. That's it. That's it. Cause sometimes my mind be so clear, right? Like I don't issue a thought like that. But yet it seems like work's still being done. But like almost like you said, like the light works, like you become like this vessel, and the light carries its mission, so to say.
Yes. Yes.
Through you. I did experience that. It's so mysterious, because you know, you work hard all your life, go work and get money, go do this. But
it's not about that.
It's, man, thank you. Thank you for this.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's, well, like I said, this ain't a farewell, family. Much love and appreciation to Shana. Really nice to meet you. It's really
nice to meet you. I really love talking with you.
You know, I can see you in person fairly soon, you know, and boy, Elitom, my boy, I hope you know the impact that's, boy, you doing, boy, because us young brothers, how we dedicating to this light with me and Shen G, because me and Shen G was in Costa Rica too, and, you know, to share that, and to this just gives us such a step ahead.
Oh, absolutely.
Yo, it's so amazing, dog. Like,
and y'all doing a wonderful job. Y'all keep up the good work, and it's going to get, it is better and better. I mean, we can't even imagine how the impact on how we're changing the world, changing the governments. That the real revolution is right here. Just keep cultivating yourself and stay on the path and guide the thinking to be what? Always in purity.
Yeah.
Think without judgment.
Yeah.
Much love, man. I'm not going to say have a good day, because I already know.
Oh, man. Here we go.
All right. Much love to y'all, man. Much love.
All right. Love you so much.
You know, you hear they can have you know, they can have some webinars or retreat, and, you know, just try to message Elitom, try to follow Prana Talk TV. I'm going to go subscribe to that. That's a YouTube channel that y'all created, right?
Yes.
Subscribe to it. You know, this is part 2. I just had to express this out. Show much gratitude to you too. Much love, and man, just keep doing the work that's needed. This is needed so bad.
All right.
More than anything. The great.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you.
Yes,
We
much
appreciate
love.
it. It's great
Talk to you soon. Love you.